Surviving Easter as a type 2 diabetic. I was thinking about this. Which one do you think is harder? Halloween or Easter for diabetes? Candy and diabetes they don't work very good together. No. I say both are equally as hard. I don't think that Halloween, maybe Easter is harder because it's all day, right? You don't go trick or treating at 6 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock, whatever time the kids get up and the Easter bunny showed up. So maybe Easter, but they are all about candy. And Easter, of course, for a lot of people, also about church. But if you're diabetic, it can be a very dangerous day. Now, here's what can happen. All right. And not everyone, right? But if you have pre-diabetes, or if you're a type 2 diabetic and you've been working hard and you're trying to, keep going with that, this is what can happen. Easter morning, the Easter bunny has shown up, which is awesome. And the Easter bunny brought some other stuff, but mainly the Easter bunny brought a ton of candy. I remember when my son was younger, we used to take, the little plastic eggs, and we take all the candy and put it in there. And we had 72 Easter eggs. 72 Easter eggs that would be magically hidden throughout our house, which was not all that big, but 72 eggs. And the rule was, and we never enforced it, but the rule was that you can't have any Easter candy until you find all the eggs. The hard part was remembering where the Easter bunny hid all those eggs. And there was usually some help at the end, but it was super fun. But what can happen is you think to yourself, I've been really good. I've been working, I've been walking and exercising, and I've been eating really good. So maybe I'm just going to have a few jelly beans, right? What's the harm in having just a couple jelly beans, right? It's not going to kill you. Your blood sugar is going to go up a little bit, but it's certainly not going to derail you completely. But now, the Easter basket is how it usually works, right? You have a Easter basket, or your kids have an Easter baskets, and they're sitting out. And you're probably going to walk by that Easter basket, 20 times on Easter. And the danger is that every time you walk by, think about before you had diabetes. Like every time you walk by, boom, right? Have a couple of jelly beans, a couple of them robin's eggs things or whatever, right? So that's one of the dangers, is every time you go by it, you're just going to have maybe just one of these Reese's peanut butter cups, right? That's it though. Then I'm done for the day. But just like someone cheating on a diet, right, where you're going low carb starting in January, and then Easter rolls around and you're like, okay, today I've already cheated. No, today's a loss, right? I'm giving up. I'm just going to go for it. There's no more rules, and I'll get back on it tomorrow. So you go for it. You have some candy, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to have I'm going to get back on. I'm just going to have some candy like you used to back in the day. I'm also going to have a big breakfast, and I was planning on having something healthy, but there is cinnamon rolls and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going for it. Then you have a big lunch too, right? Because you've already blown it. You might as well just have a good time with it. Big dinner, lots of carbs, just one day. Then on Monday, the Easter baskets are still there, or at least if they aren't, you know where they're hidden. Will you get back on it when all the candy is gone, or will one day turn into a week or longer? So how can we survive Easter but still carry on the traditions, right? Because the whole point of Easter is to be with your family and to enjoy, there are Easter traditions. Maybe it's going for a walk with your family. I mean, certainly food is a big part of it. And we've made food such a huge part of all of our holiday traditions that it makes it hard for people with diabetes or have any diet restrictions. But how do we get through it but still carry on the traditions? Now, I will say this, a word of warning, because when you're first diabetic, what you're probably thinking, or maybe if your spouse is buying the candy or whatever, that you might want to fill up your basket with sugar-free candies. We did my first year. Those sugar-free candies have sugar alcohol in them, and they cause gas, diarrhea, and can still cause sugar spikes. And I am 100% speaking from experience. Had a bunch of sugar-free jelly beans one time. Jelly Bellies, my favorite back in the day. Nope, that was a bad deal. That was a bad afternoon. It was pretty rough. And just like it was interesting. So you would think that having the sugar-free ones, you'd be like, oh, you can have a couple or whatever. But I immediately went back to where I could finish a bag of jelly beans on my own. They just happened to be sugar-free. Like those habits were so ingrained in you, that I went right back to overeating, overindulging, just going for it, right? Instead of just having a couple and being like, oh, I had a couple of jelly beans. Good for me, right? No, 3 tastes like 30. So some good ideas, maybe dark chocolate. Now, there is a little bit of oil on this and there is a little bit of sugar, but 75 to 90% cacao, is that how you say that? Tends to be very low in sugar. If you like coffee, you'll really like that 90% cacao because it tastes like a coffee bar. Beef jerky. I'm a vegan, but beef jerky, low sugar, of course. You got to keep an eye on it because they hide sugar into everything. Sugar and salt are great together. Nuts, raw almonds, roasted nuts, roasted edamame, all good choices, right? You can golf balls. Like maybe you're into golfing, maybe there's a gadget that you want, maybe there's just little things that so you have something to put in your Easter basket besides a whole bunch of carbs and sugar because we don't get those anymore. But use that instead of candy. All right, but it is food. Easter is a full eating day, right? You need to this is what I try to do, keep breakfast the same. The family's probably having monkey bread. Have you ever had monkey bread? Is that a Midwest thing? I don't know. We're originally from Montana, so I don't know. My wife introduced me to monkey bread. Breakfast casserole with, eggs and tons of hash browns and stuff like that, or maybe the cinnamon rolls, right? Which we just don't get to have those. And it's really hard to just have a little bit of that and something else. So if you're just having breakfast, the best part is eating with your family, not eating what your family is eating. So breakfast would be kind of tough, right? I suggest having like an egg. Or, you're probably not going to eat a salad that early in the morning, but whatever you have, that's a good for you breakfast. Maybe that's what you have with the family and it's not a big deal. Lunch, again, keep it the same as what you normally been doing, right? Eat something good. Maybe around that time, planning activity that gets you moving, go for a walk, take the kids to the park, grab the kites that you haven't flown in forever because it's usually windy around Easter, right? And go do that. So having an activity there. So if you did have a little bit of something with your breakfast or lunch, you have a chance to go burn it off. And then you got a big dinner planned. That's okay. It's absolutely okay. Have a big salad first. And I mean a big salad, right? Which has lots of fiber and all good things and slows down digestion. And then just have a little bit of whatever else is on the menu. If there's ham on the menu, have a little bit, right? If there's scalloped potatoes, have a little bit. Dessert, be very careful with. Obviously, you can increase it. And it's probably not going to be your best diabetic day, right? That's not what you're shooting for. What you're shooting for is making it not your worst. And then have it carry over. It's about having a little bit, but not overeating. For a lot of us, myself especially, it was the overeating that led me to a point where I developed insulin resistance and ended up with type 2 diabetes, right? Think back on your past Easters and what do you remember? Do you remember just the food or do you remember spending time with your family? So focus on that and make activities out of it. In our house, we like to make annoying things. So we like to cook as a family. And so we've done sushi, we've done, what was some of the tamales before, and we're doing empanadas this year. So, and I'm going to have a little bit, I'm going to have a huge salad and a little bit, but it's about spending time together. So it's not about missing out. It's about not falling off. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard because it's right there in front of you, right? No judgment, going with the plan. Hope you have an awesome Easter. I hope your A1C is down. Have an awesome day.